feel you watching me. Pull up across the room. I think you like the view. You gonna make a move. I don't make this easy for you.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Good Luck Sis. I am your host, Thati J.
And I'm your host, Ellie.
And we hope that you guys are having a great Monday and a great week so far. So this episode gonna be a little personal for me. But before we dive in, I'm just trying to think, Ellie, do we have anything we need to catch up on? We already told them about the wedding.
We caught up on everything.
The bachelorette.
Yeah.
There's really nothing else. That was just the main things that we had to tell you guys. So just diving right in. So this episode is going to be about my personal journey in terms of weight loss, trying to become healthier, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't weighed the last time I really weighed myself on purpose was February, but then I had to go to the doctors last week and they was like, okay, get on the scale. And I was like, okay. Did I?
Moment of truth.
Right? And I'm like, And I seen that number and I was like, I don't like this number. It was 12 pounds heavier than February. And I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I always say, if I have to weigh myself at the doctor's, I'm going to go home and weigh myself because the doctor's scale and my scale are two different scales.
And plus,
the doctor's scale.
I weigh myself naked. Okay, the clothes.
Thank you.
Minus the clothes.
Everything is off.
Yes.
I even take my bonnet off.
Yes.
Like, don't play with me.
Yes.
Okay, and I have clothes on. No, we ain't doing that. And I feel like the doctor's scale is like old fashioned and it don't break down what your weight is made of.
Yeah.
So then I probably waited like a couple of days and then I weighed myself on my scale that tells you the fat, the muscle, the water, all that. And it was like 10 pounds lighter. And I was like, I'm going to go with what my scale says, not what the doctor's scale said when I had my clothes on, when I already ate and I drank and I didn't, I didn't release myself. So I went with my scale. And so it was 10 pounds lighter. So basically from February until now, I've only gained a pound, which is very, very amazing
good.
for me. And some people would be like, well, girl, you didn't lose anything. You gained. But I'm like, bro, I only gained a pound. And for me, it's very like old me would have gained those 12 pounds, if not more, that the doctor's scale actually said versus the 1 pound. And I always say this, the end of, we're in 2024. I always got to do the math because COVID still got me messed up in the years. So the end of 2022, when I passed my boards, but for like that last 1 to 2 months of that year, we already know, went through the depression, was eating Uber Eats multiple times. I still need a sponsorship because I kept them pockets full. I did not care. I was not cooking. Anything that took my time away from studying was not happening. I canceled on my trainer for a month. I told him like, this ain't gonna work. I was eating Uber Eats every day.
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Sometimes, and I did it because I passed. I did what I had to do. But baby, it was not good in terms of my health. Like it got to the point where like, obviously when you gain weight, sometimes it takes you a while to see it, but I seen it. My chin said hello multiple times.
Not hello.
Multiple times. I didn't like that. I literally would sleep and I would snore and stop breathing and wake myself up because people say when you gain weight, you start to snore and you get sleep apnea because all the weight. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not a snorer. The only time I snore is when I'm drunk. Like I'm not a snorer. So then I'm snoring to the point where I'm like literally waking myself up. And I was like, oh no. And then I started getting tonsil stones. And for those of you who don't know, if you're looking at tonsils, some people have like little white bead-like things, and when I would cough, I would get tonsil stones. Granted, people have them and they're not overweight. I don't necessarily know if it was contributed to me getting all that weight, but I feel like it was because I've never had that in my life. And then now I never had that, and then now I'm over here basically choking in my sleep because I can't breathe because I'm snoring. And I was peeing so much in the middle of the night, and I was like, "Bitch, are you getting diabetes?" Because that's one of them signs.
It's giving pre-diabetes.
And and I was like, and then I finally stepped on the scale and I seen 244 and I was like, oh, no. this ain't cute. This is not a cute number. This is not a cute look. These are not cute symptoms that I'm having. So I was like, all right, bet. So, bitch, you're a nurse practitioner now. You pass. Now it's time to get healthy. So, overall, over the course of the year of 2023, definitely got on a health journey. Was losing weight. I am down to 221. So I lost a little over 20 pounds. And the fact that, like I said, I'm maintaining. Granted, I haven't lost, but I maintained, is a big jump in progress for me. And the reason I'm sharing this is just because I just never thought I would be that girl to lose and keep it off. I've lost in the past and gained it all back. But now I feel like I'm finally disciplined enough to like, okay, so this is my new normal. Like even a couple of days ago, I was like, damn, like, am I eating healthy? Like it doesn't seem as hard or like as much as a conscious effort to like eat healthy anymore. And then when I weighed myself, like, oh, sis, you're still where you were. So now this is the lifestyle that people say where it becomes a habit and it becomes a lifestyle and it's not as hard to maintain where you are. So when I realized, I was very proud of myself.
You should be proud of yourself. I think you got to that moment when you're like, okay, I've been there. So I don't want to say I'm speaking for you, but that moment when you weighed yourself and after going, studying for boards, it's just like you couldn't focus on yourself. You just had to focus on just like, passing. And I think when you reach that moment, when you look in the mirror, you weighed yourself, you're like, I've been to that point where I'm disgusted with myself, like disgusted.
Baby, it was that.
Disgusted. I'm looking in the mirror. Why is my stomach hanging over my pants? Why do I look so like so swollen?
Why do I look like this?
Why do I look like this? Like I want to stay inside because all my clothes don't look good on me. Like I think it's like when you reach that point, you're like, I no longer want to be disgusted with myself. I want to feel good, and you make that change.
And that was what it is. Like I had to hit my rock bottom. Like, bitch, this ain't cute. Like this ain't it. Like you love yourself, yeah, but we also gotta be real with ourselves.
Right.
This is not it. And even now, sometimes when I look at myself, I'm like, damn, girl, did you even lose the weight? It's hard to see when it's like I don't see it, but I see it at the same time. I don't see it, but the healthy habits, like I'm not finishing a whole plate of these sauce legging the way I was before.
Let's go back. I have this conversation with my husband all the time. I'm like, it's the Haitian mentality. Like they give you the big assiette, the dili, the sauce pois, the legume, and you're supposed to feel so full when you eat. Like that's how I was raised. Like, like I feel so heavy. When you feel so heavy, you can like feel like your stomach every time you take a step. That's how I was that's how my mom raised me. Like I'm supposed to feel full. After that, you drink a big glass of juice and that makes you even fuller.
Yeah.
And I'm like, now in this mindset of like, I'm eating, I'm okay. I feel like sufficient. Maybe I could have a little bit more, but I feel like that's the, the greedy side of me. But I'm just like, I'm no longer where it's just like I have to feel extremely full. Like, oh, I have to unbutton my pants after eating. I'm no longer there. And oftentimes after if I go out and I eat like that, I don't feel my best after. Where now I'm eating cleaner, I'm eating better, and I feel like I could eat a little bit more, but I know I can tell myself like, no, Ellie, it's okay. Like you can have a little snack maybe later, a healthy snack, but I'm no longer full like I used to be when I eat.
And that's the thing. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to be full to that extent when you ate. I didn't know you're supposed to eat to be satisfied. It definitely goes back to like what you said growing up. Oh, fini tout manger. You would get in trouble if you didn't eat all your food. And I was just like, now, like even yesterday, after work, I went on a little solo lunch date, got me a burger, fries, and a side of soup. And I was eating, I was like, oh, damn, this is good. But I was like, oh, I'm full. And a part of me is like, girl, you cannot leave this on the plate. Number one, you paid for it. The fuck? You're not getting your money's worth. And number two, it's like, you have to eat all of your food. And I still left like a good majority of the fries and some of the soup. And I just left because I couldn't eat it anymore. It was no point in bringing it back home. It's French fries. So just that, like I would keep eating until the plate was it didn't matter what my body told me. It mattered what the plate looked like. And I finally, and I didn't realize too, for any girl who's always been like the bigger girl throughout their life, never been the skinny girl, it's so much of a mental thing that you really have to rework your brain on how things go. Like when I started losing weight, I was eating more and I didn't understand that. But it's like, okay, but I'm eating smaller portions and I'm eating healthier things.
Right.
Because me, I've come to the point where I know my body, I got to eat every 2 to 3 hours. That's just me. But it's not every 2 to 3 hours rice and fried chicken and French fries and things like that. It's like, okay, some egg whites and turkey bacon, then a salami and a yogurt, and then like a turkey wrap and this. It's like the type of choices you make, like you can eat more and still lose.
Yes.
It literally took a year for my brain to wrap around this.
And it's a lot of work. Well, let's talk about that. It's a lot of work eating healthy in smaller portions. Like, okay, today, like this morning I had this. Now I'm gonna, by lunch, I should have this prepared, like a salad and this. Compared to when you eat a larger meal, it kind of like, well, it's unhealthy meal, like a rice, chicken, oxtail. Like you're full for like a good 4 hours, you know?
Yeah.
I saw that. I want some good oxtail right now.
Right?
I really You're like,
I would love
some flames. Some flames would be good right now, you know. Yeah, when you eat like those big meals, like I haven't had rice in a while, and I'm just like, I'm craving. I'm coming home this week, and I'm like, I know that, like, you know, my mom's gonna make the sauce bar, legume, rice, and I'm gonna feel full.
Yeah,
I'm gonna feel so full, but I haven't felt that full, and I crave that fullness.
You know,
I crave that. It's like that. It's like missing, where it's just like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like why I miss the fullness, but I am satisfied after I eat.
I'm scared of that. I'm scared of the fullness now. Like the same way I cut down on alcohol and the feeling of being drunk and nauseated, like afterwards, the hangover, it makes me sick thinking about I could possibly feel that way. I hate it. It's the same way I associate that overstuffed full feeling. I am so scared to feel that way because I'm just like, it makes me sick. I remember one time recently I overate to that point and I actually threw up. Guys, not on purpose. Like I didn't make myself throw up, but I felt so uneasy being that full. My body rejected it, and my body never used to do that at all. All right, you're full. Like when I went on my solo, I didn't eat everything. Today what day? So yesterday was the Juneteenth celebration at Franklin Park, and there was free food.
They
free jerk chicken.
They were free food last time we went. That was like 2021. We went.
Right?
Yeah, they didn't have that.
This time it was free food, and I did not eat one thing because I was still so full from earlier. The old me would have been like, bitch, this is free and it's good and it's Black people eating it. You better go get you something. And literally, when I tell you, it's literally a mental thing. Like you get to the point where it's like you don't need anymore. Like I think before I needed food, and now it's like, okay, I want food, I'm gonna eat it, and then boom, I'm good. Like I don't have to eat just because food is around, and that's a big thing that I had to overcome. And then I started dropping the weight. Then boom, June 2023, I had my physical, went to my doctor. I'm like, okay, bitch, you dropping weight. Okay, you good. And then next thing you know, they hit me, well, bitch, your cholesterol's high and you're basically pre-diabetic and you got 6 months to change this shit or you're going to be on meds. And I was like, wait, what? Y'all don't see how much weight I lost? Yep. And y'all tell me this? And this is why it's very important too, especially if you feel like you're, no matter what size you are, but especially if you've always been quote unquote not living the healthiest lifestyle, always get your cholesterol and your sugar checked, stuff like that, because I hadn't had those checked in years. So essentially, they probably got worse and they were coming down because I was doing 6 months of eating right, exercising. But because they hadn't seen the trajectory, it just looks bad. And I was like, y'all not about to be on medication at 28 years old. And when I tell you I was terrified and I was defeated, I was like, well, bitch, you might as well eat if you're going to be on meds. But I didn't.
That's the wrong mindset to have.
Exactly. And I continued to drop more weight. And then February of this year, I dropped my cholesterol 10 points. And then I think I dropped my sugar by 2 or 3 points, which is very hard to do. That don't sound like a lot, But it's a lot for them to be like, you're on the right track. You don't have to be on medication. And me as a nurse practitioner, meds, they're great if you need them. But if you don't have to need them, that's even better.
Yeah. And that meds are the last resort. But the first thing you can do is if you could like, you know, go to the gym, you know, work out, eat healthier. That should be the first target before being on meds.
And it's like, this may be an unpopular opinion, but Ellie touched on it early. Like, you get to the point where you're disgusted with yourself. I ain't gonna hold you. Sometimes you gotta be like, damn, bitch, you don't look good. You're fat. Like, don't say these words, but I'm not gonna hold you. Like, sometimes you gotta be
real with yourself,
rough or realistic, and really be like, bitch, you're fat. It doesn't look good. Get it together. And that was where I was at. I never like to claim the fat word. Some people may think I'm fat now, fat before, whatever. I don't sit around calling myself that. I would never like identify as that because I'm not to the point where those words would still hurt me. But I had to be honest with myself and be like, not saying you're trying to find a man, you gotta look good and whatever. A man's gonna love me whoever, he's gonna love who he loves no matter what. But me personally, I was like, if I was a nigga, I wouldn't check for you.
Yeah. But how you expect
that was me.
But how you expect somebody to love how you look if you don't love how you look at the moment? Like, you being your best self means you going to the gym, not you sitting on the bed eating a whole box of pizza.
Exactly. And the thing is, this is not to say women who are overweight, obese, or whatever, or like who doesn't have the perfect body, that they're not beautiful. But for me, I wasn't loving how I looked physically. I wasn't loving the symptoms I was experiencing physically. I wasn't loving the fact that I may have to be on medications, the same medications my mom in her 60s is on at 28 years old. Like, I wasn't loving that. Everything, not just the way I physically look, because at the end of the day, one thing about me, I'm a pretty girl. And I'm always, no matter how big I've ever gotten, I am a pretty girl and I have a dope ass personality, and I could be the 244 tomorrow and guarantee I was still bagging niggas because I was still bagging them.
That's
so
right.
It's not about like, oh, like
you're
I
not
need
beautiful.
this for a man's attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that.
I never realized how much weight was affecting every aspect of my life.
It affects
and how much
so much.
Like, I had to be disciplined in so many aspects of my life to really get myself together. So that was that. And like I said, I'm down like 23 pounds, keeping it off. But then also it's kind of like I always get lazy and go back, but I've never been this long on a journey. It's about to be 2 years and 6 months that I've been losing weight. I got an appointment with my nutritionist this week to kind of like, let's talk about the next steps. I've gotten to the point where I can maintain what's more that I can do to continue to actually drop and lose and not lose this momentum. And what's so funny too, when I say it's a mental change, just last week my dad goes, "Oh, you're getting fat," and I was like, "Okay." He used those words, Haitian father. Yeah, he's like, "You're getting fat," and I was like, "Oh,
okay."
It's like, you didn't weigh yourself? Like, I haven't.
We need to do better as a community.
You didn't go to the gym? I was like, I do go to the gym. So,
but do you remember do you remember I saw this video a while back showing how this starts at a very young age, when you were stuffing my face and gave me no moderation from eating at Burger King, McDonald's, giving me lollipops, making me KFC. And then it shows the kid, it's like a video, it shows the kid at a young age, the mom is like giving them all this unhealthy food, right? Doesn't teach them how to eat healthy. And then they grow up and now they're like obese and they're at the doctors and now they have like heart disease, diabetes, hypertension. And then everyone's like, what happened? And the mom's like crying. It's just like, rewind it back to when he was just a kid. Like, you didn't teach him how to eat healthy. You didn't put him into any sports, show him physical, like how being in like doing physical activities helps you and stuff like that. It's just like, it starts with the parents.
It do.
It really does.
My dad every Friday picked me up from after school. It's either Chinese, pizza, Burger King, McDonald's, or sub.
If you start those habits early
for years,
then you think nothing's wrong. And also the fact that like, because we think we're like young, we can't develop other like these serious diseases,
health issues,
issues, which you can. Yeah,
exactly. So he said that to me and I was like, okay. That was before I weighed myself to figure out where I was.
You can't entertain it. You just have to be like, okay.
I was like, okay. And then I went into that same week. I saw a Haitian man who I've seen a couple of times. I go, oh, Upwawi.
He said
And I was
that?
like, oh, yeah. And it's like, oh.
who gave you
And
the
he's like, oh,
who gave you the audacity? Who gave you the rights to talk
audacity.
to me?
Exactly. And he's like, oh no, but Uvin Pibel. So basically he said, oh, you put on some weight. And then when he saw my reaction, he goes, oh no, but you became prettier. And I was like, but why do you feel comfortable saying that?
Mm-hmm.
Number one, what if I was pregnant, which I'm not. Lord, I'm not. But what if I was pregnant? What if I went through a depression? What if, God forbid, my parent just died? Something.
Yeah.
And it's affecting me physically in my health. But why do you feel so comfortable saying that? Granted, even when my dad said it, I was like, all right, nigga, you know, you didn't have to say that, but it's my dad, it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for a stranger, and I'm just like, why do you feel so comfortable saying that to me? And I'm proud of myself because it didn't drill into my like, bitch, you're getting fat, get it together. It was just like, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
2 comments, unsolicited comments. I'm not going to take it to heart, but you know what, bitch? We just going to work even harder.
Yeah.
For the next time they got nothing to say. And it's just like the old, like, people don't realize how hurtful those things can be.
Yeah.
And like I said, if you said that shit 2 years ago when I was studying for my boards and I knew that shit could have made me spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Give up. Like, what do you mean? You just got to be careful and stop talking about people's bodies to their face, especially. Like, if you got your comments, keep it to yourself. Talk shit behind my back. I'd rather that. But I don't need to hear that because that's not doing anything.
Yeah, keep the comments to yourself. Like when I see people gaining or losing, I just keep the comments to myself.
Yeah.
I just don't comment. That's not my place to do so. I remember like a few years ago, I had started gaining some weight and man, these Haitians had a run. And it was like, oh, you're in a relationship too. Oh, like quel content, which means like you're happy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, I honestly at that time gaining the weight, I didn't even know I was gaining weight because for the longest time, I have a fast metabolism. So it was hard for me to gain weight. So it's just like all of a sudden I'm gaining weight and I wasn't the kind of person that weighed myself. So it's just like, it wasn't until I was doing my life insurance that the nurse came to the house. She did the blood work, she weighed me. And I was like, oh shoot, like this is completely different than what I usually weigh. And they asked you like, has there been a change in your weight for the past couple of months? And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything because I want a good rate. Okay. Right. So I was like, no. And I'm like looking at the scale like, oh shoot. Like, and then I realized that's why everyone was making those comments and stuff. And I'm just like, just don't do it. Just keep the comments to yourself.
Sometimes you don't see it. And the thing is, I think too, it would come from like, because especially just growing up, having this weight always be an issue and people always feel like they can comment on it.
Yeah.
If I see my child gaining weight, I do think as a parent, I should be able to have a talk with them like, hey, hun, like you're still beautiful, you're still this. Yeah. I just want to let you know you're gaining weight and there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes it happens and we don't notice and it can lead to other things. I just want to make sure you're okay. How's your health? You know, or even if you don't say anything, like this is also why like I want family things like every Friday during the summer, family walks. Like there's a way to say Haitians on the other hand, like, oh, you're getting fat. Or like, why don't you, hey, is everything okay? I'm just starting to notice some changes. You don't even got to say you're getting fat. I'm just starting to notice you're not eating like fruits as much or you're not going on a walk. Like, how are you doing? And it's just like, they just, I'm so tired of giving Haitians excuses.
They just don't know.
That's just how they are.
They don't know how to communicate.
Like, it's like, come on, let's do better. Like, let's just do better because you're gonna say it to the wrong person who's not mentally okay to hear that. Even me, even though I'm okay, I've just through this conversation. If you're on YouTube, I'm doing like this with my hands, and I think this is like my coping mechanism because it's still like an awkward topic, and it's still like, although I'm okay and I'm better and I can handle it more, it's still a dig to your ego when you've been working hard at it too.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm gaining weight, but nigga, did you not see where I was a year ago? I was 20 pounds heavier. Like, did you forget that? Like,
but not
there's
everyone,
no great comment.
You're on the journey on your own. And I think it's the whole thing of just like, you shouldn't look at other people's validation when you're on your journey, because not everyone is on the same journey as you. Not everyone sees the amount of work you're putting in, going to the gym, eating healthy, cutting off like all the things that you desire. So it's just like, we need to work on blocking all the negativity when people try to like put us down when we're working on a goal. Yeah.
Exactly. You're right. Because like you said, no one, I gave up alcohol for 5 months. Y'all not about to take that away from me by saying you're getting fat.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, I have put in the work, and more work can still be put in, but that doesn't take away. Yeah, probably from February to now, I did possibly lose more and then gained it back to where I was. So that's why it looks like that. But where was y'all with the positive comments when I lost the weight? Y'all wasn't saying shit.
They're never
You
there.
didn't say anything. And then when I eat too little, oh, that's all you're eating. And that's the thing with these Haitians. You're fat, but then, oh, that's all?
We're not doing
That's
that.
all you're going to eat?
We're not doing
Or
that.
like,
I'm not taking any healthy tips on eating from any Haitians. No.
No.
My mom, so since I'm coming home, I was like, hey mom, like lately we've been eating a lot of vegetables. We're staying away from this. And she's mimicking me. Like yesterday she called, she's like, so she knows I like certain foods. Like she knows I love lalo and rice. And so she's like, Mbien, so ma fait lalo, ma fait tout ça, et mi lo vini wa gade nou manger. And I'm just like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like,
right?
Like I'll go to the store and buy my own stuff and cook, but I'm thinking since I'm coming home, you would just like make the things that I'm now eating, you know, like try to help me eat more healthier. But no.
And it's like, and that's the thing when you don't. And my mom is pretty supportive, but now because we have like my aunt who's living with us and my cousin, they're from Haiti. Like, so they're not working. So they're the ones who take majority of the cooking over in the house. And it's like, it's good.
It is,
but it's not good for my inside. And like, oh, Thati, I'm like, oh, and I feel bad because you know when you don't eat from a Haitian woman, it seems very disrespectful. But I have to tell my mom, like, mommy, and this is probably what the weight gain came from, to be honest. I can't do this anymore because it's rice every single day, rice and the meat. And like to the point, it's like I make them boil my chicken separately as long as it's seasoned, and I don't eat it fried. Like because I'm like, if I give into this, we're gonna go back to where we were at the end of 2022, and I can't start over again.
Yeah,
I can't. I can only continue. I can't go all the way back at the beginning. No. Like you have to have those conversations, and like you said, like I'm to the point where like everyone knows I buy my own groceries because I know what I can cook and what I can eat that's better me. Yeah, sometimes we can do a little white rice, and then instead of eating the griot, I'll do my ground turkey that I made and put that together, and then do a little something like that. But it's like when you don't have a supportive household in the sense of they just don't know better, it can make it very, very tough. And this is when you just got to be like, well, bitch, you're on this journey by yourself. You're the only one in the house who's doing this.
Yeah, living at home and being healthy has to be one of the hardest thing. I think when you're on your own, then you have your own groceries. But like when the kitchen is not, first of all, Haitians live in the kitchen, especially when you have those who are at home and obviously not working and everything. So it's just like when you're already in the kitchen and you're cooking your own food, they gotta like add their own comments. I'm like, oh, c'est salsa?
Oh my God.
You're not putting this, you're not doing that. And it's just like,
I'm like, mommy, I know there's not salt because I'm using salt free. So it's not going to taste the same way, but it's still good. Like, I remember when I first started making egg whites, God damn, Tatiana. Like, all this stuff is not good. When I work, because you know, you're supposed to be eating egg whites. It goes, oh, my daughter does that. And I'm just like,
they don't know. They don't know.
Let me cook. Literally, let me cook.
Yeah.
Just let me cook from you. You gotta eat it. I do. But also, you're not the one losing the weight. I am. You're the one on the medications. I'm not. And I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna need you to let me do my own thing.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, this is just kind of like a personal victory story for me. And I just wanted to share it. And like I said, some people notice, some people don't, especially with the breast reduction too. I feel like, and that's another thing, like I'm gonna have a whole episode about it, but I lost 5 pounds off my chest. Like that is a lot to lose off of just one area of your body that you've been carrying around for a long time. But because I had such big boobs, it kind of masked everything else. Like you didn't really see my stomach too much, but I did kind of have like a SpongeBob appearance of like I just looked straight, like you know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like there was no curve. And I always used to tell people, guys, I have curves. It's just my boobs take over my torso. Like I actually have an hourglass that goes in. And now that I have the breast reduction, it took me a while, and I'm still to this day. There's times I put on clothes, I'm like, oh, I like how I look, but I don't because like
you're still getting used to it.
bad because I've been used to my body for this long. And I think the weight loss on top of the breast reduction, it's like I have this whole new body that looks so different in clothes that I used to wear that I said, okay, bitch, your stomach pokes out in this more, not because your stomach is getting bigger, but your chest is smaller. But I'm not used to seeing my stomach like this. So it's like, that's another thing where it's like, I know I'm doing well, I'm making the progress, but because my body has literally physically changed, it's like I didn't do anything at all. It's like I didn't lose any weight at all. I'm just like, oh, bitch, you never had to deal with this, and now you do. So, like I said, it's definitely a mental thing,
and it's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah. I think everyone enters into that journey at one stage. Some people, it starts early, middle school. I remember I had a friend in middle school. Man, the calories she was counting, I was like, I never got it. I never understood it. I was like, why? And then she would be like, I'm so big. I'm like, where? Like, to me at that age, I'm like, okay, we eating whatever I want to eat. And she's over here counting calories. I don't think I started looking at calories until this year.
Maybe
Still,
I don't even count the amount of calories. I just like, and that's the thing too. I feel like sometimes you get so pressured. Oh, I gotta count calories. I gotta weigh this. I gotta weigh that. I gotta do that. I am not there, and I don't know if I'll ever be there. I don't know if it's healthy for me to get there. Like, I know what's healthy for me. I know how much is too much for me, and I'm gonna go by that. Yeah. And that's just what it is. Like, even intermittent fasting, I used to do it. And then for me, I was just like, it worked, but I'm like, oh, it's a mental thing for me. Yeah. Now for me, losing weight means I can't eat from, that's not healthy. Right. I need to figure out a way that's going to be like, because there's not always going to be times where I can intermittent fast. Bitch, if I'm hungry, I want to learn how to eat, but eat properly, not ignore the feeling of hunger. Right. For me, that's not really okay. It doesn't work. Yeah. I think definitely the once in a lifetime, you know, you hit that point where it's just like, okay, it hits you that you need to start being healthy. And you need to start taking care of your health. And that's definitely this year for me. I'm just like, I can't just be, oh, I'm so young. And yeah, we must hit them 30s. I got you different. Yeah, things are different. It's different. It's real different. But anyways, guys, that was our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope some of you guys can relate and understand. And also, like I said, it's everyone's journey is different. Yeah. But just, you know, give yourself grace and just get to the point where you just want to do it. Like, I don't want to work out, but I just do it. And that's just what it is. I don't like it, but I do it. And I think that sometimes is most people's experiences, but everyone feels like you need to love this journey that you're on. It's hard as hell. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to do it, even if you don't want to. And be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Yeah, be kind to yourself. Definitely. Yeah. But yeah, guys, that is our episode. And my favorite brand today is actually a book. And I'm about to pull it up right now. So this is called Healing Through Words. I forgot who got this to me. It was either Ellie, Cindy, or I was gonna say through our Christmas exchange. I was like, Healing why does that look familiar? By Rupi, I'm probably pronouncing her name wrong, Rupi Kaur, but she's the author of like the Milk and Honey poetry books. And this is a book that gives you the opportunity to literally heal through your words. And I think for me too, with going on this journey, being a poet, finding my voice, it gives you an opportunity to really figure out how you can help yourself and how you feel. Sometimes we're just like, I feel this way, I don't know how to describe it. You need to find the words to describe what you're going through, because if you don't, then you don't know how to fix it. So I definitely recommend this book, and thank you, Ellie, for getting it for me. You're welcome. And y'all, if you're watching on YouTube, my hair, if you see the white product, because the twist wasn't twisted and I had to reapply and it didn't dry in time. You know, we get it. So it's just Black girls, we here. It's just wet product. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and then we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye everyone.